Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to learn more about prehistoric humans. So, let's get started. Between 1.8 million and 117,000 years ago, our Homo erectus ancestors roamed the earth. They were the first hominins to migrate out of Africa, the first to make and use sophisticated stone tools, and the first to regularly use fire. Many scientists think Homo erectus was the first true human ancestor. So who were they? How did they live? And why are they important to our understanding of human evolution? Let's dig into it. Imagine you survived the prehistoric equivalent of a nuclear winter. You've hunkered down in a cave with your fellow hominins for months, subsisting on berries and whatever else you could scavenge while the ice raged outside. Finally, the sun returns, the ice melts, and the world is green once more. But everything has changed. The climate is warmer and drier than it was before. The forests have vanished, and huge swaths of the world are now savanna. What do you do? If you're a small, furry hominin like Australopithecus afarensis, also known as Lucy, you probably don't have the best odds of survival. If, however, you are a member of the newly arisen Homo habilis, or handyman, you might just have the tools necessary to not only survive, but thrive in this new world. Scientists believe that during the so-called Matumapka event, which began around 2.6 million years ago, a dramatic climate shift caused the end of the African rainforest and the rise of grasslands. This change forced our ancestors and other hominins to adapt or die. Some went extinct. Others, including Homo habilis and Homo erectus, used their ingenuity to carry on. Homo erectus was likely the first hominin to make and use sophisticated stone tools, enabling them to cut through tough plant fibers and gain access to nutritious inner plants. They may also have used these tools to butcher animals more efficiently. Importantly, the tools weren't just sharper and more effective than previous tools, they were also more durable because of the way Homo erectus made them. Instead of using a hammerstone to crack open a nut and then throwing the rock away afterwards, Homo erectus would take two stones and hit them together, using the flat surface of one as an anvil to shape and sharpen the other into a cutting tool that could be used over and over again. These handy hominins also distinguished themselves by being the first of our ancestors to control and use fire. While there's no single piece of evidence that proves this, a number of sites inhabited by Homo erectus contain burned bones and other remains that indicate regular use of fire. Fire could have been used for cooking, which makes food easier to digest and increases the amount of calories a person gets from it. Fire also likely helped Homo erectus last through the night, keeping predators away and providing a source of warmth when temperatures dropped. But perhaps most importantly, Homo erectus was the first hominin species to venture out of Africa. As the Matumapka event caused massive climate shifts across the globe, some Homo erectus groups moved out of Africa and into the Middle East around 1.8 million years ago. There they lived alongside other hominin species, including Homo habilis and Homo heidelbergensis, until around 117,000 years ago. These pioneers likely migrated into a world very different from the one they left behind. Homo erectus groups in Africa encountered large-scale changes in vegetation as they moved east and north. In some areas, they would have found grassland and desert, while in others, the landscape was dotted with trees. Despite these changes, the hominins spread out across the Old World, reaching as far as Georgia in the north and Indonesia in the east. They were truly cosmopolitan. To accomplish this incredible feat of long-distance migration, Homo erectus would have had to organize themselves into larger groups to hunt big game and gather large quantities of food. They likely traveled along established animal migration routes and followed seasonal weather patterns to find food and water. And while Homo erectus was a contemporary of modern humans, Homo sapiens for thousands of years, the two species rarely met. Most Homo sapiens lived in Africa, while Homo erectus mostly lived in Asia and Europe. The two species did overlap in some areas, however, and Homo sapiens likely picked up some of their stone tool technologies from their larger-brained cousins. Sadly, we don't know exactly why Homo erectus died out, but some scientists think they may have been outcompeted for resources by Homo sapiens. Others suggest that climate change may have played a role. Whatever the reason, studying Homo erectus gives us insight into the adaptability of our ancestors and how they may have used intelligence and innovation to survive. After all, if it hadn't been for the changes brought about by the Matumapka event, our ancestors may not have become the dominant species on the planet. So next time you see a handyman working on a particularly tricky repair, remember they may be following in the footsteps of a very ancient tradition started by our Homo erectus ancestors. Speaking of which, it's handy that you're here. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for coming along on this journey through time.